Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time to do some monthly haul action. Just run down the 17 things I got in October 2023. 13 of them actually from a great little dumpster dive, little block party going on near me, record store that was along that route. Put out a couple tables worth bargain bin CDs. They were $1 each. I got 13 of them. And then 4 full price kind of things off the internet. I think some of them were even used, what have you. Molten metal out of 3 out of those 4. So let's get started. I love this episode, man. There was no prep work involved. Stack those new CDs next to the phone here. Pull up a beer. Still working on some Stellas. That's how it goes. Drink what's in the house. All right. First of all, let me just do a quick explanation about all this dumpster dive and bargain bin bullshit that I do all the time. Yeah, I know. I can be cheap. I'll admit it. The more the merrier when things are cheap. But it's not just about that. Well, I'm not going to say that it's not great when you get 13 CDs for 13 bucks. Obviously, that's awesome. What I really like about going through those bargain bins, I think I might have mentioned this once before, but I don't think I've stressed it enough. The complete randomness of what you're going to come across, I am not going to go into a record store and head for the smithereens, section of the store, section of the records, CDs, whatever. If I come across it in a bargain bin, it's like, oh yeah, I like these guys, but I don't have anything from them kind of thing. Now, I do have a couple smithereens, so that's not a perfect example, but you get my drift. And when it's only a couple bucks, who the hell cares if it's even that great or not? At least you got to hear it for, $1 or $2, what have you. But you know what? I usually end up liking this stuff. It's not stuff I would pay full price for. And it's not stuff I would even think to go get. That's the biggest part of it. So just coming across it in those bargains, it's just mix of different artists, So I got to start out with that. Like I said, record store near me. And what's funny is the record store is pretty much a record store. They don't have many CDs. The used ones they have inside the store, they want ridiculous prices for, $6 or $8 for a used CD. It's cheap or new, on Amazon. Or you can get it on eBay or whatever for $2, $3. So they're really just a record store. I don't rarely even look at their CDs. And they don't even have that many, 100 or 200. Where they came up with these 500 or 600 CDs on this, what would you call it, street fair kind of thing that was going on. I don't know. They found them in their basement or what have you. Just not like the store to have this many titles, and they definitely didn't have these titles in their store. So let's just get to it. 13 things I got from that for $1 each. Aerosmith big ones. I think I kind of thought I was getting like gems or whatever, older stuff. It's all what I consider newer stuff. Anything after, 84 to me, newer Aerosmith. But you know what? Obviously it's $1, so who the hell even cares? But it's kind of a cool little compilation of their, I'm guessing this is like the 87 to 94 era, which is kind of perfect for me. I'm not going to go out and buy those regular albums, so having one CD with all the biggest hits from that era, I'll listen to it once, maybe someday, and it'll earn its $1 back. Next up, we were just talking about them. They popped into my head because this is another one I got, the Smithereens, especially for you. And I do have like a best of the Smithereens, and I do have another one of their albums that I got a year or so ago that I haven't even listened to yet. But this one has a couple songs from Best of the Smithereens. Blown to Smithereens, I'm sure a lot of you guys got that. Really good album. Blood and Roses, of course, the biggie on here. Any of you guys remember that movie Blood and Roses was in? What was it called? By the River or something? Keanu Reeves was in it. That was a great movie, man. Blood and Roses was in that sucker. Strangers When We Meet, I think, is on the best of too. So you got 2 or 3 songs that I'm familiar with. What a great way to get into this album. You already know a handful of things. Now we get the entire thing. Looks like a dozen songs or so. Looks like a good one from the Smithereens, man. Just picked up a Christmas album of theirs a couple months ago, so getting near that season. Good one there. Peter Gabriel. I just got my first Peter Gabriel album, his third album, a month or two ago, which is pretty good. I mean, I'm not in love with it because I just don't love that era kind of electronic music kind of thing. Not that it's electronic music, but you get my drift. A lot of synth-heavy stuff. But here's a Birdie film soundtrack that he did, which is actually, from what I'm reading about it, it's basically just instrumentals, a few new ones, a lot of older leftover instrumentals, and actually just instrumental versions of songs that were on other albums. 12 of them altogether. Check this one out. I think it's a 1985 movie, if I'm not mistaken. 85, 86, something like that. Another title from Birdie, or title from Peter Gabriel. GNR Lies. The reason I got this, Mama Kin. Always like how they did that, you know, and what a cool song to do. If you're going to pick an Aerosmith cover, there's a cool one, and they do it justice. So the whole GNR Lies there, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of Guns N' Roses, but fill in the blanks for $1. Joe Jackson, Body and Soul, 1984 album. I only have like his 79, I think his debut. So here we are about 5 years later or so. I think the debut is 79. Anyway, not familiar with this at all. You know, I don't see any songs on there that I recognize. So what? He's cool. I might have had this back in the day on cassette. And I didn't have it long. Like, this was not in the batch that I got rid of 6 years ago. But Berlin, talk about your 82 new wave. Pleasure Victim, you know, biggest album for these guys. Of course, they had another hit single a few years later. But this one I actually listened to once, maybe started listening to it again. It's okay. I'll tell you, the first time you listen to it, it's really electronic. There is some guitar and stuff on there, but really synth-heavy kind of thing. The Metro, remember the Metro video being on HBO, video jukebox all the time. Cool video and pretty good song. And a couple of other songs on here are actually pretty good. I'm happy I found this. Kind of had been wanting it. So when I saw it, it was like one of those I couldn't pick it up fast enough deals. Here you go. Band called The Call. I think they had a song called Walls Came Down or something like that. That was the only song I ever knew they ever did. But, you know, here's an album from, I think, a couple years later. Reconciled, 1986. Don't know anything other than that Walls Came Down song, and that's, I think, a couple years before this. So, The Call, Reconciled. And they also had another album by The Call. The following one from 87, Into the Woods. So, both of these, like I said, $1 each. I have no idea whether these are going to be any good at all or not. But like I said, man, this is when you try shit out, right? When they're basically handing it to you for free. The Church, speaking of some 86, mid-80s, like new wave kind of thing. Although these guys weren't very synth that I remember. This album called Starfish, probably their biggest one because of the song Under the Milky Way. I used to have the 45 single of Under the Milky Way. That's how much I love that song. And I didn't even like what was on the other side of that single. So I never went and got like the album or the CD. And now I get to hear it. So kind of cool. Happy about this guy. And speaking of, this was kind of cool. They had some CD singles there. And, you know, normally I don't give a shit about those kind of things. But when they're $1, what the hell? Under the Milky Way, we're just talking about it. Great song. And you actually get with this guy 2 songs that weren't on the album. So that's basically like a little EP here. A song called Musk, a song called Warm Spell. And I think the Under the Milky Way that's on here is just your standard that's on the album, if I remember right. 457, and we don't got times here, but you get my drift. Pretty cool little pickup, man, for $1. And staying with the CD single theme, Donald Fagen's Century's End. I was really happy to see this in there. You know, I thought I had looked at every CD. They kind of had some chick out front playing guitar. Just kind of watching her and I think I passed by one of those boxes of CDs. And luckily, thought I might have missed something. So I went back and that's when I found these CD singles. So Century's End. You also get Shanghai Confidential, The Night Fly, and The Goodbye Look. Now, you know what, man? I never owned any of these little 3-inch CDs. see them on eBay and stuff every here now and then, and it's like, well, I'm not even sure if they play in my CD player because I have the standard whatever the hell inches that is. Well, it turns out, you know, you just need this adapter someone put right in here. Obviously, this probably went to a radio station or something in the beginning, so this is really kind of cool. And loving that one. Just at the very least, it's a nice, you know, collectible to have. So that's that. And one more. This is kind of a cool one. This one goes for some bucks. I'm talking $25, $50 even and up on eBay. CD, video, also. So basically, you got some CD songs, audio songs, and a video also on here. Audio tracks New Frontier and Maxine, and the video for New Frontier, all on a gold disc. Kind of cool. I think this is a Japan job, as you can see, originally, just by the writing on there. So the thing that sucks, this video doesn't play in my Blu-ray player. So I don't know if it's just a computer-only kind of thing with the video. 1982 Warner Brothers, but you know, obviously this came out later, 88. Full size with this one, but a pretty cool pickup. I'm happy I spent that money, obviously. Oh, one more. That was 12. Here's your last one. This is the very last thing I came across at that situation. The Batman original TV series soundtrack. How do you say no to this? Awesomeness. Love that, man. That was just like icing on cake. Pretty cool. It's like upside down there. But you get the gist. And in good shape, man. Generally. Little stain on that cover. But pretty happy with that. All right, on to some things that I want to, you know, spend a little more money online for or whatever. I just saw the Doobies in concert. I guess a month ago already, practically. And I have all their older stuff. I have everything up to Cycles. So, Sibling Rivalry. I know they have other stuff in between Cycles and this. This is from 2000. I just always kind of wanted this because the song, I saw them do People Gotta Love Again on like Live at Regis or something. Great song, you know. And then I saw them do Ordinary Man on like the Today Show. So I knew two of the songs from here and I really liked them. Overall, after the first listen, you got a couple other good songs. Got a couple other, you know, it's just way too electronic, you know. If you know this album, you know what I'm talking about. Really just, I don't even know if there's maybe 2-3 songs with some real drums on it. A lot of electronic program drums and other instruments too, honestly. You know, not their best moment here, but a handful of really good songs. I'll have to say that. And that's after one listen. So I usually end up liking something more with more listens. And People Gotta Love Again, great song, you know, first song on the album. So there you go. Now into some metal. Here are your 3 that I'm going to have you choose the next Love You Long Time. Man, I love this album. Used to love this thing so much. Power of the Night, Sabotage. I think it's 85. I love this album. This was a solid 9, maybe a 9.5 in my eyes. We'll go with a 9 at least. And I've already listened to it once, and man, I'm pretty damn impressed. You know, I don't think I've had this thing since the late 80s, you know, when I purged all my metal. This one, had it on vinyl, out it went. Might have been cassette, actually. I don't know. I might have taped it on the way. I definitely was walking around playing it on my boombox. But I think I had the album, now that I think about it, so I must have transferred it. Great one, Power of the Night. And you know what? Speaking of which, I haven't bought a CD off eBay if it says benefits charity in years, because generally they send you garbage, you know, messed up CDs. I don't mind if the case is junk, I'll change the case, but crappy covers, scratched CDs. It's been a couple years since I bought something. I took a chance on this because people were asking $25, $30 for this. There was a charity, you know, Goodwill, selling it for $7, free shipping. What the hell, I'll take a chance. This is it, looks in great shape. So, glad that one worked out. Here's another one that's awesome from back in the day. Listen to this once, really impressed so far. Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. This is a good one. I think I used to have this on vinyl too. Man, I suck so bad. Really liked this one the first time I heard it, so let's see. Love You Long Time material right there. And finally, before I had either of those, I think I had this guy. Anthrax, Fistful of Metal. I got Armed and Dangerous back a year or two ago. That's really good, but of course that was an afterthought compared to this one. This, I remember loving certain songs, and towards the end, the album started to lose me. You know, just not maybe melodic enough, really fast and really heavy, but, you know, kind of like there to be something else there besides just fast and heavy. But I really did used to like it a lot. This would probably be in the 8 range. Sabotage more like a 9. Twisted Sister, probably an 8, you know. But some good stuff. That's the monthly haul, guys. That would be, I think, 17 titles altogether. 13 of them swooped up for 13 bucks. Local sort of street fair going on. Dollar CDs. I don't know. Pretty good, I think. And the other 4, not too shabby either. Guys, that's going to do it for this monthly haul for October 2023. Everyone, have yourselves great friggin'